I forgot I had this shirt. And sometimes when you just pull a random shirt out, you wind up wearing the same clothes repeatedly.
Oh, yes. I know
We've
that
all
full
done
well.
that, right?
Yes.
This one was at the bottom of the pile. So it's a little wrinkly, but I was up early today working out at 6 a.m. with my son, which I do a couple days a week. And now that I got to lose, the 10 pounds of TV weight, because I got to lose 10 pounds of TV weight, because I can't have this beautiful face look this ugly when we start, in May. I pulled one out. I got lucky. This was not a plan.
Well, I'm a little disappointed.
This just shows you I believe in a higher power. I randomly pulled out of the bottom of the barrel a Knicks shirt. It was meant to be.
No, that sounds like you're front-running a little bit. As if I got to wait until it's the All-Star break. I'm the 5 seed. Things are going well. Now I'll wear my Knicks shirt.
That's not my style, front-running.
Why was it at the bottom of the bottle?
That's a very good question. I'm going to have to talk to the people that are in charge of my clothes piles to find it, which is me, of course. I have no peoples anymore. I forgot I had it.
Huh.
I thought it was just a regular black shirt. I pull it out, bang! And by the way, that's not a shirt you see a lot.
No, it's a cool-looking shirt.
It's an old school, go New York, go New York, go shirt.
I got to tell you, I'm a little disappointed.
With the Jerry West logo on the left.
For now.
The New York on the right.
But this
and the circular Knicks in the center.
But this reeks of, hey, the team's finally playing well. Let me find my Knicks shirt.
Damn
at the
right
bottom.
it does.
Right. As long as you admit it.
But that's the true story is I pulled it not knowing.
Right.
And then when I saw it, I was like, you did. Here's what I was going to wear.
What?
I had my Rutgers full zip up going today because it's a dope sweatshirt with the hood and the Rutgers on the sleeve, full zip. I was going with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to wear a shirt under it to sway. I pulled this bad boy out, and Rutgers had to wait till Monday.
No, we got to celebrate the Knicks on this Friday, man.
So Rutgers is going to wait till next week, but I'll put on my Pat Hobbs Rutgers sweatshirt next week.
Good for you.
I got no problem with that. I'm good with that.
It feels like we're reversing roles now. You're going to become the sports logo guy, and I'm going to be the blank hoodie, comfortable sweatshirt guy.
Maybe. So no Wayne Gretzky today. As you may have heard, his pops passed away. 92 years old. It's thought to be the first show without Wayne in 3 months or something like that. But, it got me thinking about Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
The greatest hockey player of all time, right?
No question.
I think I saw a stat that I had forgotten about the other day, and obviously I'm not a hockey guy, but Wayne Gretzky, right?
He's Wayne Gretzky.
I think the stat was, and someone, obviously will correct me if I'm wrong, that if you took away all the goals Wayne Gretzky scored in his career, which is like 19,000 goals or something, he would still have more points than any player in the history of the sport. Something like stupid.
Yeah, it's...
You know what I'm saying? Like something just totally ridiculous about his total points, the assists, and all that stuff. And I go, there's no way that's possible. And then somebody told me it was possible.
He has more assists than any other player in history has points.
So that it was accurate. So
yes.
if Wayne Gretzky never scored a single goal, he has more points than anybody that's ever played the game without a single goal.
Well, it's why
that's stupid.
He was, and you could only compare people to their eras, because I know you like to make the point, if you took an NBA player from the 70s and you put him in today, they'd get smoked. It's not about that. It's about comparing it to your contemporaries. And Wayne Gretzky led the league in goals and assists and points, obviously, every freaking year.
Yeah.
There was nobody close to this guy.
And you would think as, sports rules change and there's more scoring and this and that, a Crosby and Ovechkin, like the great players, would have at some point gotten close. Mm-hmm. But, like in basketball, Kobe broke a record. For a long time, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is untouchable, right? LeBron obviously jumping up. Right. Guys will eventually pass other guys.
Right. Because
that's
the game
nature
is
of
changing
sports.
too.
Right.
Yeah.
Football, total yards, total touchdowns. Blah 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 blah. Wayne Gretzky is a standalone cat when it comes to that, and you can't beat that with a bat. Old school. Anyway. Here's my thing for you.
Yes.
And you're a parent. I'm a parent. Big Mac's a parent. We don't want Tommy to be a parent. So we're all on the same page here, okay? I wondered, since his dad passed away, for those of you out there that are either really special at what you do, have some great gift or skill, or if you're a parent, right, which covers pretty much our entire audience, right? What is it like and I'm trying to put myself through this because I love my children. My children are fantastic in every way, shape, and form. They each have their own skill sets. They're each good at some things, not great at other things, and they're all, uniquely individual, right? Could you imagine the pressure of being the mom or dad of someone with an otherworldly, extraordinary talent?
Right.
And I was thinking about this driving in when I heard the news that Wayne Gretzky's dad passed away at 92. Like, at what point did Mr. Gretzky and Mrs. Gretzky realize that Wayne Gretzky was special?
Oh, like 4.
I'm asking. That he was different, that he could do things other kids couldn't do, and we've got to do everything in our power to embrace that, to foster it, and to allow it to shine.
Right.
Now, not everyone knows that. The far majority of professional athletes, because it's so hard to become a pro athlete, and I used to ask this question all the time, and as we get into the spring and the fall next year, I'm sure you'll hear me ask this for guests, frequently. Like, when did you know that you were special as the athlete?
Right.
When did you know you had a gift, that you were just better than every other kid on the block just because you woke up that day? Without trying to be, you could throw a ball harder, run faster, whatever the case may be. But I started thinking as a dad. Now, you're not there because your kids are so young.
Right.
Like, what if Jed or Spence, not because you wanted, not like a Todd Marinovich thing where his dad wanted to raise a pro athlete. Like, what if you just woke up one day and the first time you take Jed to whatever sport he plays first, soccer, baseball, he's just, oh my God, there's something about that kid, right?
Right.
How do you handle that as a parent? And I was thinking about Wayne Gretzky's dad. He had the responsibility of essentially staying out of the way, but also nurturing and fostering
Wayne Gretzky,
this amazing talent.
But Wayne Gretzky's dad, and I remember reading about this long ago, had Wayne and his brothers, I think, doing hockey drills when they were 5 years old.
Okay.
Now, Wayne was obviously born with an incredible talent. You don't become that player without that God-given talent. But at a young age up in Canada, they were doing drills at a young age. So I think in Wayne's part, it probably was the combination of this insane talent that I'm sure his father realized, but also working on his skills at an insanely young age. I think they knew he was great when he was 8 years old.
See, I wonder that. I've met a lot of pro athletes. You've met a lot of pro athletes. I've become friendly with a lot of these guys. And the thing that I always wonder, some guys just were great athletes. They went through Little League or play, Babe Ruth League, or, they're football players. They went Pop Warner, private team, a high school team, college, pro. That's the usual kind of arc for this, right? But I'm not talking about the great athlete that happens to become a pro. They're special too. I'm talking about the greats. I'd love to know, if you want to talk about what would interest me from a podcast or a reality show or, a docu-series, I want to find out what it was like for the parents and the siblings of the great one, of the Gretzky, of the Jordan. The famous story, Michael Jordan got cut from his high school basketball team.
Right.
He got cut. Wasn't good enough to play. And then, of course, he became the greatest player of all time. Now, his parents were working people. His parents didn't nurture him as a basketball player. They had a small little hoop outside the house. He was outside and playing with his older brother. And then he became the greatest player of all time. So my point is, sometimes you don't even know it.
Right.
But as Wayne Gretzky's dad passed away, I was just fascinated.
Well, that's what, what's
I think those stories are more fascinating than the story of the guy that made it.
Well, look at...
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Remember the story of Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets?
Yeah.
The story goes that Steve Cohen was so special at a young age, his parents recognized that he was different than his siblings and other kids. They wanted to foster that mental growth, and they fed him steak while his brothers and sisters, whatever, got hot dogs. So they recognized it, and they did everything they could to nurture it. I would love to talk to people like that.
But what's interesting is when you look at maybe the best athletes of our generation, take Tiger Woods and Wayne Gretzky.
Go!
Those two guys fit the story of their parents knew at a young age, holy crap, my son is brilliant. And they nurtured it in a big-time way. That's why we've seen the clips of Tiger Woods playing golf when he's 5 years old, Wayne Gretzky doing hockey drills when he's 6 years old. But then you've got Jordan, who doesn't have
any
story.
of that.
And then you have Tom Brady, who doesn't have that story.
Right.
And so here are 4 athletes, Gretzky, Woods, Jordan, Brady. 2 of them, you could tell at a young age, holy crap, this guy's amazing. And they turned out to be, holy crap, this guy's amazing. And look at the other 2 all-time greats at MJ and Tom, who don't have that kind of same development at a really young age. It
yes,
differs.
I agree, but I would say one thing. It's funny you mentioned Tiger. I find the late Earl Woods to be an abusive parent. And I watched the documentary, and it sickened me to my stomach.
No, I get it. Yeah.
The way that, the way he treated a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 5-year-old, 8-year-old Tiger Woods was disgusting. Now, he created the world's greatest golfer. So maybe the payoff is, I was right, you guys were all wrong.
Yeah, that's the...
He was gifted, and he did play golf. And, they tell the story about him in a high chair at 2 years old, watching his father swing a golf club in the garage. Like, Tiger Woods' dad was an abusive father. Now, the end result was the greatest golfer to ever walk on a golf course.
And it's a fair question to say if his father wasn't that way, and I'm not defending it by any stretch because I agree with your take on him, what does Tiger Woods become? I don't know the answer.
Great question.
And that's not a defense of the way his father treated him, but I don't know the answer to it.
Don't you always wonder, like, if Tiger Woods' dad didn't force him into golf, do you think Tiger Woods would have naturally found golf? Do you think it's ingrained in you, like, Wayne Gretzky was going to play hockey, and obviously he's Canadian, and it's kind of like the backyard sport like it is basketball is for us. Every kid, good or bad, you played pickup hoops when you were 5 years old, 8 years old.
I wasn't
you
Jordan.
sucked.
Right.
I was average.
Right.
But, we did it. So Wayne Gretzky at some point in his life was naturally going to put a pair of skates on because that's what Canadians do. But like the Tiger thing bothers me because I just think his dad was abusive. But it's weird, you have to give the DNA some credit, right?
Oh, the DNA gets a ton of credit.
Wayne Gretzky's dad gets some credit because, he picked the right woman to fall in love with. She picked the right man. His mom gets credit, obviously, same amount of credit. And their DNA combined in some kind of Dr. What's that famous island? Dr. what island?
Moreau.
Yeah, Dr. Moreau. The Dr. Moreau Island, they created this stupid, crazy offspring
but here's the question,
that could do stuff that no one else could do.
But don't you think there are guys and gals who had that same insane DNA to be an incredible athlete, but didn't love the sport?
Yes,
Never
I do.
played it, and there's that mystery. Like Wayne Gretzky, and I don't know enough about how he was treated as a kid, but what I do know is that he was doing drills as a kid. His father was teaching him hockey as a 5-year-old.
Maybe he was abusive too. I don't know.
I'm not saying that, and I'm not comparing him to Tiger's father because I don't know, but I do remember reading the stories about him doing these crazy drills in their backyard.
Yeah.
If that doesn't happen, despite the great DNA, does Wayne Gretzky become Wayne Gretzky?
Yeah.
And also the love of sport. Last night, I was thinking about it. Alfred Payton had a really good night for the Knicks.
Yes, he did.
And I was thinking about what you said, and we had talked about a few months ago how after a bad game, Alfred Payton was taking jump shots. The story of Julius Randle, he just revealed that Kobe Bryant told him at an early age, as soon as you get to a city, we find a gym, we work out. That's a big part of it. Because there are a lot of guys with that God-given talent, with that DNA you talk about. But if you don't have that want to be the best, because you always say this, the best athletes have something in common. They don't want to lose to
between
you in
their
anything.
Ears. Right.
It's between the ears.
It's not physical. It's between the ears.
And
100%.
And I think the all-time greats, and Wayne Gretzky he's not all-time great. He is the greatest. You got to have that combination. You have to love it. You've got to not stop working. You've got to have the God-given right. You got to have all of those things. And when you combine them, you get the greatest of all time.
So we'll get into that. We got lots of stuff to get to. It's Al Dukes' 20th anniversary in New York City radio. We'll talk to Al later today. I want to congratulate my main man. Of course, no disrespect to Tommy, but Tommy does not have a 20th anniversary. We got we got some stuff on Mark Sanchez.